Well, it's official. We have our 12-team playoff bracket. And I must say, for the first time in what seems like forever, the College Football Playoff Committee got it 100% right. Before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Now, I did a video last night following the conclusion of all the games, and I gave my final 12-team bracket. Now, I had a few spots that were a little different, but I got the 12 teams spot on, and that's because everyone knew who the 12 teams were supposed to be. There was only one spot that was up for grabs that had a little controversy behind it, and that was between SMU and Alabama. Now, I will say I was watching the college football selection show, and they were all saying, boy, the committee is in a really difficult position. They have a really tough decision to make. And, well, that was BS, because the committee did not have a tough decision to make. It was actually a really easy decision. SMU, they played in their conference championship game. They lost by a field goal as time expired. Of course, they deserved to be inside the top 12 over a 3-loss Alabama team that wasn't playing in their conference championship. The fact that they kept saying the committee has a tough decision, I thought that was a load of BS because, again, it was an easy call. SMU deserved it, Alabama didn't, and that's that. So let's take a look at the 12-team bracket. Oregon comes in at number 1, Georgia comes in at number 2. Those aren't major surprises at all. Now, in my video yesterday, I did explain that I thought Arizona State deserved to be the number 3 seed over Boise State. Now, while I thought they deserved it, I didn't think that that would happen. I said the committee, they wouldn't have the balls to jump Arizona State all the way over Boise State in the rankings, so I wasn't surprised to see Boise State come in at number 3 or to see Arizona State come in at number 4. Now, the rest of the rankings, it looked very similar to the ones I had yesterday. You have Texas coming in at number 5, Penn State coming in at number 6, Notre Dame coming in at number 7, Ohio State coming in at number 8, and Tennessee coming in at number 9. Now, me personally, when I did my top 12 last night, I had SMU at 10 and I had Indiana at 11. And the reason for that was SMU played in their conference title game. I didn't think they deserved to fall that much for losing a close game. But I think the reason the committee ranked Indiana at 10 and SMU at 11 is because they didn't want to have a Big Ten matchup between Indiana and Penn State in the first round. I think the interstate matchup between Indiana and Notre Dame is a lot better, and SMU Penn State is a better matchup as well. So while I think SMU should be ranked above Indiana, I could see why the playoff committee opted to go this route and rank them in those spots. Finally, you have Clemson coming in as the number 12 seed. They got the automatic bid for winning their conference, and they're the 12th and final team. So like I mentioned, I think this 12-team bracket is absolutely perfect. I got no complaints with this whatsoever. I said last night, I didn't think the committee was going to go through with this. I thought there was a chance they were going to put Alabama in. I thought there was a chance they could give Clemson one of the byes and drop Arizona State, but I can't believe I'm saying this, I got no complaints. Now, it was funny watching the show this morning and watching Nick Saban complain about how Alabama got left out, saying, well, moving forward, why would you schedule any difficult out-of-conference games? Well, that's not the reason that Alabama didn't reach the college football playoff. Alabama, they played, Western Kentucky, South Florida, Wisconsin, Mercer. Their out-of-conference schedule was insanely easy. The reason that Alabama didn't make it was because they lost their conference games against conference opponents. So maybe if Alabama wants to make the college football playoff, maybe don't lose by 21 points to Oklahoma, a team that you were favored to beat by more than 20 points. Or maybe don't lose to Vanderbilt and have that be a terrible loss as well. That's the reason Alabama didn't get in. It's not because of their tough strength of schedule out of conference. Now, I will say Alabama did play a much more difficult schedule. They do have a better resume than SMU, but again, you have 3 losses, you have a couple of really bad losses, you didn't play in your conference title game, you're not deserving of being one of the 12 and final teams. Now, this was something I briefly mentioned a couple weeks ago. I didn't really go too in-depth over it because I didn't think it would be necessary, because this wasn't a scenario we were going to see, but all week, the discussion has been about SMU Alabama, who is deserving of being that final team that makes it to the college football playoff, but yet nobody was talking about Indiana at all. Now, I know that Indiana finished the regular season going 11-1, but what was their best win this season? Looking at their schedule, I'm guessing it's over a 7-5 Michigan team in which they won by 5 points. I mean, seriously, that's it. Their best win this year was over a 7-win team. Their strength of schedule was an absolute joke, so I get that they did win 11 games, but if we're being honest with ourselves, it should have been Indiana that was on the verge of falling out of the bracket. Now, if you would have done that, that would have been a really bad situation moving forward, because then you're saying you can win 11 games and it's not going to be enough. But But if you look at Boise State, they won 11 games, and if they would have lost to UNLV, they would have been bounced from playoff contention, and their strength of schedule is right on par with Indiana. So again, I don't think Indiana, while they are, I guess, deserving of being in with 11 wins, their case isn't as strong as SMU's or Alabama, or even Ole Miss and South Carolina for that point. The 11 wins were the reason why they weren't getting talked about at all, but again, if there was a team that should have been bounced, I think it should have been Indiana, because they've done absolutely nothing this season aside from playing really terrible teams. Now, moving forward with the bracket, I know a lot of people had a number of issues with how it ended up going in its first year. The one complaint that I saw the most was if you win your conference, you shouldn't be getting a first round bye. And I could get behind that. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of 50-50. I don't know which side I lean. Now, as an Arizona State fan, obviously, I'm thrilled that they got the number 4 seed, they have a first round bye, but they're clearly not the 4th best team in college football. Boise State is clearly not the 3rd best team in college football. It is kind of wild that they have a first round bye, where you have teams like Texas, Penn State, where if they would have won yesterday, they would have gotten the bye. They are ranked a lot higher in the college football playoff rankings, but yet they got to open in the first round and play an extra game. But I do like the incentive of winning your conference. It adds more to doing well in conference play and getting to that conference championship. So me personally, I got no issues with it. I like it. Again, I like the incentive of winning your conference, making sure that every conference game matters. And as we saw this season, every conference game, it does matter. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Alabama, if Alabama takes care of business against Oklahoma, they're probably in the college football playoff. If a team like Colorado wins one more conference game, they would have been playing Arizona State in the Big 12 championship, and they would have had a chance to go to the college football playoff. Or if you're a team like Miami, you just had to beat Syracuse at the end of the season, and you would have been playing in the ACC title game with a chance to go to the college football playoff. Instead, you lose, you give a team like Clemson a chance, and just like that, Clemson is going to be playing in the college football playoff. So overall, the 12-team college football playoff, I know there was a lot of controversy surrounding it this season. I know a lot of people have a lot of issues, but I thought it went perfectly. Now, are these the 12 best teams in college football? I'm not entirely certain, but I think this is going to be one fantastic bracket, and I love it. But yeah, I'm just very surprised that the College Football Playoff Committee actually got this right. Now, for the most part, there weren't many ways they could have screwed this up, because like I said, for the most part, everything was right there in front of them, but I did think there was a scenario, there was a chance that they were going to leave SMU out, and they were going to put in Alabama. I also thought there was going to be another scenario where Clemson, despite being ranked, 17th last week, they were going to leapfrog Arizona State, who dominated Iowa State, and Clemson was going to get that final bye. But they didn't. My Sun Devils got the bye, and overall, this is a great 12-team bracket. I'm looking forward to the college football playoff getting underway in a couple weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun. I am going to post a video probably in the coming days breaking down the bracket, going over my picks for each game, going over each scenario, and who I have ultimately winning the national championship. So if you want to see my bracket, make sure to stay tuned for that in the coming days. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on the final 12-team bracket? Do you think the College Football Playoff Committee got it right, or do you think they got it wrong? Now, if you're in the minority and you think they got something wrong, whether it's a team not getting in, whether it's an issue with the seeding, or whether it's an issue with the format, whatever it is you have to say, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos every day leading up to the start of the playoffs, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that confusing YouTube algorithm, and it helps share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in my next video.